You don't need an epiphany to know that I'm late on Mousemas. But that's what the holidays say, so happy epiphany and all of that, right? Cheers. Welcome back, everybody, to me doing the weekly navel-gazing, and this is, in fact, the first weekly navel-gazing in 2025. We've made it to another year. I wouldn't have thought of it either, right? So, we'll do the usual thing. I'll talk about all the books I've read last week, which is lots. And then we talk about all the books I plan to read this week, and we talk about all the videos I made last week, which is surprisingly many. And we'll talk about videos that I plan to make this week, and we'll see where all of that takes us with, the whole rambling and stuff like that. So, let's get along for that, shall we? Well, it may not come as a big of a surprise, but I've been reading lots of Redwall books over the last week. I am somewhat confused by how many that is, because, I don't know what I said when I recorded the last one, but of course I did read the books, the Lord Brocktree, which is number 13, The Legend of Luke, which is number 12, Marlfox, which is number 11, The Pearls of Lutra, The Long Patrol, which is number 10, The Pearls of Lutra, which is number 9, and, of course, number 8 is, I'm really struggling here. Number 8 was not The Bellmaker. Yeah, there was Outcast of Redwall, and then number 7 was The Bellmaker, and possibly number 6, Martin the Warrior. As I said, I don't exactly know where I stopped when I did the last video, but that's a lot of Redwall books that I've read, and for the most part, they've all been a lot of fun. And if you have ever, nothing better to do, why not check out a Redwall novel here or there? If you have Audible, a lot of them are apparently part of the Audible Plus free catalog. So if you feel like, having a couple of hours of Brian Jakes doing his best theatrical English accents and lots of songs and shit like that, go knock yourselves out. You will be surprised. You might be surprised by how good some of these books really are. So that's all the reading I did last week. Now the question is, of course, what will I read this week? Because we're done with Mousemas, by which I mean we will be done with Mousemas very soon. I am, however, done with reading Mousemas books, so what album am I going to read next? Frankly, I don't know. We'll find out. See, the thing is that I found a way to get access to a lot of audiobooks that have been region locked away from me before, and that means there's like a whole list of books I've really wanted to read for a long time, and now I have access to all of them all at once. And that is really bad, because that gives me complete choice paralysis. And I have no idea with which one I'll start. There is a chance that I'll just do some Elric rereading, because I've wanted to read all of that Elric stuff. I've read a lot of them throughout the years in all kinds of orders, but once the 3-volume big Elric collection came out, I was very excited. And then book volume 2 and 3 were not available to me because of where I live, and that's frustrating. Now I have them, so I could go and read, something like 70 hours of audiobooks of Elric, I guess, if I really feel like it. There might be something else. Lord of Light by Roger Zelazny is an option here. There is obviously the adventures, or not adventures, the tales of Bauchalain and Corbel Broach by Stephen Erickson. They are out there. I could read those. There are obviously way more. Right, but there's lots of them. Ammonite by Nicola Griffith is another one that I'm interested in. There's way too many books, is what I'm saying. So I don't know where I'll start, but something will be read this week. It may also just be some more Brandon Sanderson. Who knows? Because that stuff's not off the table just because of winter holidays and shit. So reading wise, I am very much confused because I can't decide where to start, which is, I guess, a good problem to have. And partly, of course, that's because I don't have a TBR, and much less an idea of how to order one. So I'll just pick whatever I feel like tomorrow. So that's right, kind of the goal there for reading. If you have things that preferences or whatever, you can put them down in the comments, and I'll maybe listen to them or not. But I'll certainly take note of them. So there's that, right? So that'll happen reading wise, and I'll probably have a smarter idea of what's going on next week. I know already that there are books coming out next week that I want to read. One of them, like the main one, being Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. That will happen next week, but that's, because that book is coming out next week. So yeah, reading-wise, it's The Great White Yonder, and I'll find something. And you will probably, you can probably just, look at my weird Goodreads profile that I rarely ever update or whatever, to see what I'm supposedly reading. But you don't have to, right? So I'll tell you all about it next week. But what about videos, you may ask? And there I have been surprisingly active. Because since we last spoke in a weekly Navel-Gazing back in the last year, I was on a live stream on Amanda Strange Mentality Paper's channel on historical fiction and stuff. That was fun. That was on like the night from the 30th to the 31st of December. And very spontaneously yesterday, I did like a live stream because Matt on Books was busy and could not hold the Sunday pub, so we were gathering here as a replacement. Highly unofficial, and it will probably never happen again, or at least not unless Matt is out of town or anything else. So we will find out if ever that. But it was a nice way to casually start the year, talk to some friends that rarely it was nice. I enjoyed it a lot, so that was cool. And I did do the first of the writing and productivity sprints in the morning, again this morning, because I needed to get off my ass, right? So that's a lot of live streaming that I did, but fear not, I also did put out a lot of videos, because, Mousemas, right? The problem is, of course, that I am somewhat late with the Mousemas videos, because while I did try to pre-record videos, that didn't necessarily work out so well. And I was visiting friends for a couple of days to play some Dungeons & Dragons and do those kind of things, and it's kind of difficult to read and record videos while doing that, unless you're, of course, doing D&D videos, which I am not doing yet. So I did make videos for, once again, I have to figure out which ones were which, by which I mean, of course, Outcast of Redwall on New Year's. So that means The Bellmaker on New Year's Eve. That means Martin the Warrior on the 30th. And of course, before that, Salamandastron on the 29th. And then, of course, numbers 9 and 10 are already out there for you to watch, these being on The Pearls of Lutra and The Long Patrol, with videos this is going on into what will come today, I hope, the rest of the Mousemas videos. I also did like a look back at 2024, look slightly forward to 2025 video. That one is also out. I still need to read your comments and reply to that, because I've been, away and not at my computer for a while, and that makes it kind of difficult to keep up with everything. So yeah, videos for Marl Fox, for Legend of Luke, and for Lord Brocktree will be coming out today. We'll see how I manage to do that, because it means that I still have to record those and have them, run in the background rendering and so forth. So what I'll do after I finish recording this, and while this video is rendering this update, I'll record the video for Marl Fox, and then once that is happening, I am recording the next one, which is the one for Legend of Luke, and then finally the one for Lord Brocktree, and they'll go up as soon as they have finished rendering. So ideally, sometime today, possibly, maybe very, very late today, and it will only be the 6th of January for some of you living very, very far to the west of here. So we'll see if I can, get this all done. But it's me trying to get this whole project over with and not take too much longer. I wasn't able to do it with Drismas last year, and I am I'm closer to it this year than I was last time, so there's that. But it is still, kind of makes me slightly grumpy that I didn't manage to do that. On the other hand, having like 13 videos in 13 days is quite the challenge if you're like me and you also have to read those 13 books in those 13 days, right? Because you're incapable of planning ahead, which is certainly the kind of person I am, right? So that's videos for now. We'll be finishing up the Mousemas videos. They will be, as I said, be recorded today and go up as soon as they're out there. And after that, I'll have to figure out what kind of videos will come next. I am certainly thinking about making a video on 2025 publications, releases that I am looking forward to, you know, the kind of stuff that I have already sort of on a list that I will read if, like, as close as possible to their publication date, the same way I did that last year. So that'll happen. Ideally, that'll happen sometime this week. I guess I'll just, you know, have to go back through like a list of possible publications and check them out and make that list, and then I'll record that. That will happen whenever I feel like it. Beyond that, I don't yet fully know, because obviously the next big project is return to the Mormonism video, and I don't want to make any promises on when that'll be done. But now with Mousemas out of the way, that's the next big priority. It's the big thing that I wasn't able to finish last year, which bugged me a lot, and I spoke about that in the, you know, best of the year kind of like year wrap-up video. So it's back to that. Now the positive side of this is that while I was out, you know, visiting family and stuff over New Year's, or not even New Year's, but over Christmas already, I got a lot of time thinking about where I am with that video, right? I did record several parts at this point. I am, you know, I have recorded parts for both theology and the early Mormonism stuff. I think I'm having a clearer picture of where all of this is going, so I hope that the recording will now actually go fairly smoothly, ideally in one, you know, big go of like recording one part of the video per day, sort of. I mean, what it means is I have to sit back and record each chapter in multiple parts, because that's kind of what I've settled on. But I hope this will happen in the next couple of days, and ideally it'll be, you know, done relatively soon, so I can then go and make the videos on, of course, these Sanderson novels. The first one of that obviously being Elantris, and then it'll be the first Mistborn trilogy, and I have to still think about whether I want to do a Mistborn, each novel one video, or want to go like by series. I think it makes more sense to do one per book, because there's enough to be mad about in each of them. So we'll see how that goes. But that's like the rough plan, rough outline there. And as soon as I read individual books that are not Redwall books, if there's one in those that I feel, you know, that I feel compelled to talk about in detail, then there will be videos on those. And obviously, the first new release that I'll talk about for sure is definitely authored by Nidio Korafor, which, once again, happens next week. It's either the 14th or the 16th, something like that. I'm not good with this whole release date thing, which is why I have to write them down in a list and talk about it in that video, I guess. So that's roughly the video plans for now. I will keep doing the breakfast writing and productivity sprints, at least for now. I do appreciate everyone who comes to those sprints, and I'll try to, you know, maybe with like easing a lot of the pressure of myself with, you know, the whole Mormonism stuff. Maybe I'll be able to focus more on those in a, you know, be more productive, I guess. Get the writing stuff done, because that's obviously something that'll also happen more. I'll try to finish the first of what may be called a chapter relatively soon, and once I've written that and handed it out to a couple of people that I trust, I will make a video on my experiences trying to do that, and we'll see where that is going. Well, that's, you know, that's sort of like vague for now. So the main goal for this week is to maybe take a break after all the Redwall videos, and then just go out and do the Mormonism thing as smoothly as possible to get it, well, done as well as possible, as competently as I humanly can, which is, you know, probably not that humanly, but you know what I mean. So yeah, that's where I am right now with these projects. And you know, it's a new year. It's certainly started with well, in some interesting ways, some dark ways out there. I'm not going to comment on politics here. That's not what these weekly updates are about, but certainly shit's gonna get very interesting in these parts and in other parts of the planet all very soon. And it remains to be seen how much of that, how that will impact me as a person, and like my ability to read, my ability to talk about books and so forth. Because that shit's kind of dark oftentimes, and reading and talking about fantasy is also always, for me at least, talking about the world. So we'll see how that goes. We'll have elections in February. We have all this other stuff going down. So I don't know how all of that works. But for now, I'm glad I'm back. As I said, after like a break of all these like holidays where you're traveling and visiting friends and so forth, it's difficult to stick to a routine. And I'm certainly someone who has need of some routines. It just helps me with the ADHD. If I don't stick to these routines, I just go off the rails completely. So I'm glad I managed to kind of limit this whole thing to, those 2 weeks between Christmas and last week, basically. And I am now able to actually, kind of pick up where I ended, where I kind of stopped at the sort of like 20th or whatever of December. So I'm glad we're there. I'm glad I, went back to the gym, did that. All of these things are sort of part of me trying to hopefully make 2025, well, at least not suck more than 2024, which, we have to deal with like the minimum goals here, I guess. And that's certainly the goal here, is to sort of get my shit together slowly, figure stuff out, maybe become somewhat more confident in what I do, or maybe find other ways of, lifting those remaining sort of like problems off my shoulders that are still there, right? There's, obviously there's still stuff there. I still have to pay off some debts. I still have to figure out some things. It's just, it's small steps. That's all I can do at the moment. So there's that. And maybe finishing all of the Redwall stuff today, or at least recording all of it and having it render overnight or whatever, is, helping there as well, because finishing one of these projects feels good, right? Finishing a project always feels good to me, because I'm really good at starting projects and really bad at finishing them. So I'm trying to finish more projects, I guess, what I'm saying here. So that's what we'll try to do. So yeah, that's all I have for you for now. I'd better get back to recording Redwall videos. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you had a good start to the year. If so, let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're planning for 2025. If you already have like books that you definitely want to read this year, put that stuff down in the comments. I always read them. And what with those productivity sprints, I do now also try to reply to all of them again in the morning. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know, like, subscribe. Maybe I'll manage to hit those 1,500 this year. So I don't know, like, subscribe, join the Patreon if you feel like it, join the channel if you feel like it. That's certainly something that will also have to be figured out this year, like getting, cool badges and stuff. But, all of those are projects for now that I'm out of the weird holiday state of emergency, I guess. So yeah. Have a great start to the week. Have a wonderful Monday. I see you around somewhere very soon in some video or other. And yeah, thanks and cheers.